Hello, hello. How are you doing today? Well, today is Monday. If you are joining me when I am doing this live, it is Monday morning. And I know that Mondays are not the favorite of so many people. So I want to give you a tip that will help you not only on Mondays, but throughout your entire week to make your life easier. My name's Dina Cataldo. I am a master certified coach for lawyers, and I help lawyers create a life that they love, even on Mondays. And I want to share with you what I have learned over the course of a 16-year career as a criminal prosecutor, over the course of coaching clients over the last 3, 4 years of how to manage our minds around time, because time feels like it's out of our control. What I want to do is I want to give you back your control. These are the top 3 problems that I see lawyers make when they are dealing with their time during the week. So, number one, they sit at their desk and they don't know where to start. So, what they do is they do everything except work. They go to their email, they go to their social media, they go down the hall, they text their friend, they check their social media. They are not focused on the work. Makes sense because they don't know where to start. And so they just figure, well, I'll figure it out in a little bit. And they feel uncomfortable. They feel a little anxious. And they're trying to numb that feeling with little activities that aren't going to give you any movement in the week. The second problem that I see is that they go to their emails first. They just jump into their emails, and then pretty soon they see that they're down the email rabbit hole and they are just checking everything. They're responding to things. They're like moving from, email to email, but they haven't at the noon hour done anything that they really needed to do that was going to move the needle on their practice. And then they start regretting that they had jumped in the email. It becomes a habit. But once you start doing what I'm going to share with you in this episode, you are going to see that you can change things. It can be easier. And then the third problem that I see, and I was guilty of this too, was just jumping into the day without a plan, without even thinking about what needed to get done. Because I had so much to do, my brain just said, you know what, just start on something, anything. And so I would reach for the things that felt easiest, that felt the most productive. And then at the end of the day, I would feel like I got nothing done because I hadn't done what was most important. And then I felt even more behind. So these are the big problems that I see, and it's costing you some things. It's costing you time, it's costing you energy, and it's costing you your peace of mind. You're losing time because you're not making movement on the biggest, most important things you need to do in your practice. You're losing energy, ruminating, doing things that aren't essential, and you're losing your peace of mind because most likely, if any of these are showing up in your practice, you're beating yourself up. You're feeling guilty that you're not doing what you think you should be doing. You are feeling ashamed that you're not working harder. You think you need to be working harder, but really what needs to happen is you need to get into a different kind of mindset. This is what I learned while I was building my businesses on top of my full time criminal prosecution career. And I needed to learn this to stay sane. Because if you're working 50 to 70 hours a week, you are not in a mind space usually to even hear, like, you're not even able to think of these things on your own, which is why coaching is so helpful. And that's what I'm going to give you today. So, there is a simple solution. It's a 3-step method that I teach. I'm going to teach you one part of that in this because that's all you need to get your Monday squared away today. I'm going to be teaching all 3 steps of this very simple method in my new masterclass. That's what's up here. Why you feel behind. Hint, it's not the work. I'm going to be teaching you the 3-step method to get more done without burning out. And you can sign up at dinacataldo.com/take control. This is happening this Thursday. It's going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific and noon Eastern. If you notice anything that I've just talked about, This masterclass is going to help you take control of your practice. I want to help you with this. It is very simple once you start putting these in motion. Okay, so let's talk about the mindset that you need to make your Mondays easier. And this is really, I'm saying Mondays easier, but this is to make your whole life easier. It's to make your week easier. And you can apply this mindset to any part of your life. Literally, I'm doing it right now. Like I've mastered it in my time management life, and now I'm applying it to areas like what I eat during the week, like really planning and doing these kinds of things. So I want you to just know you can apply the specificity mindset to anything. And it's one of the 3 simple steps that I'm going to be teaching you in the masterclass on Thursday. Okay. So here it is. And you can do this with me while you're live with me. You don't have to wait till you get on here. I don't want you wasting time with that. I want you to be thinking about your Monday right now. Okay. And if you're thinking about it, you might feel overwhelmed, and that's normal. That's okay. Your brain is going to get foggy sometimes. It's going to feel like it's in a freeze mode where you can't think about anything. I get it. I've been there. But I want you to start to get into a specificity mindset. And here's what a specificity mindset does. 1, it will calm your brain down, because once you start seeing everything down on a piece of paper, it becomes more manageable. It's not this what if kind of like bomb over your head where you're afraid you're going to drop all the balls. Like all the balls aren't in the air, they're just on a piece of paper. It's just a list, right? There's math and then there's drama. There's the drama that our brain just loves to give us about, I don't know where to start. I need to work harder. And then there's just the math, the simple math of what needs to get done. The other thing that it does is it gives you dividends. It's like putting money in your savings account. So if you start doing this on 1 week or even just today, you're going to start seeing a domino effect, because every day you put this into practice, you're going to notice yourself feeling more and more in control, because you're going to get better at it, because you need to practice any of this. Like when I'm teaching you, it's all something that requires repetition and practice, and the more you do it, just like savings, the more accrues. So the more time that's going to accrue, the more capability you're going to feel, the more control you're going to feel. It accrues as you continue doing this. Another thing that it does is it gives you something to focus on. When you're specific and you do what I'm going to share with you right now, and you write down what needs to get done, it gives you something to focus on over and over again. Because throughout the day, your brain is going to say, oh, I should get a cookie. Oh, I should get a cup of coffee. Oh, I should check my phone. Oh, I should check my email. And that's normal. It's our brain's desire to get these dopamine hits. So it's constantly seeking these dopamine hits, these quick accomplishments. Oh, I should just do that quick little task. I needed to do it anyway. I need you to watch your brain when you're doing this, because those little things add up over time, and they steal from your day, and they steal from your peace of mind. This little piece of paper that you're about to make with me is going to give you something to focus on over and over again. So when you notice yourself wanting to like reach for your phone, then you're going to say, "Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to reach for my phone. What I want to do is I just want to refocus on this piece of paper, right? And let me just look at what needs to get done next." So stay with me here and do this work with me. We can do it right now together. Okay, so we're going to do this specificity portion of the method that I'm teaching during the masterclass. We're going to do that right now to help your Monday and make it easier. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to brain dump. And you might already be able to just brain dump what needs to get done today. You may already be thinking about it, but I'm going to encourage you to give yourself a few more minutes to write down everything that needs to get done this week. And it might feel overwhelming at first. That's okay. That's normal. But what needs to happen is we need to feel uncomfortable during this one part so we can make the rest of your day easier. So step 1 is to brain dump everything. You need to check email. You need to respond to client Marcy's email. You need to respond to a brief. You need to do a motion for summary judgment. You need to call an opposing counsel. Write all of it down. Okay, maybe there's a project that you need to work on. I want you to write it all down. Once you have that all down, I want you to circle today's MVPs, most valuable players, okay? The things that are going to not just feel really good when they're done, right? Like when we accomplish a task, it feels really good. What we want to do is we want to tackle those tasks that need to get done so that we're not feeling dread. So here's what I mean by that. If you're using dread to push you to get things done, you have a relationship with time that is not serving you. That's what I work on with my clients. But what you can do is if you have a brief, for instance, that's due on Thursday, you can look at your Monday and say, oh, I've got a brief due that's due on Thursday, and then you can start working on it now. Crazy, right? You can just start working on it now. And I'm going to share with you how you can do that. You're going to find those projects that are due this week and you're going to break them down piece by piece. So if you have a brief, maybe there's a few things that need to get done as part of completing that brief. You need to call a client to get some information. You need to call opposing counsel to get some information. You need to do some research. You need to set time aside to draft. You need to set time aside to give that draft to somebody to review. Maybe you need to give yourself additional time to edit it. You need to take that project and break it down step by step into all the parts of the project. Here's where the magic happens. Once you start to see all of the project pieces, you can see what needs to be prioritized today. So maybe you need to place that call to your client or opposing counsel today so that you can get the information you need by Thursday. That way you're not rushing around on Wednesday. You're not trying to stay up late and hope that somebody gets back to you on Wednesday night. Like you're actually taking you're taking the initiative on that project versus just waiting for it to happen. So that is one thing that you can do. So brain dump, you circle the MVPs, the most valuable players for this week, and then for your projects that you've circled, right? Then you're going to break them down piece by piece. Okay, so we're just looking at the circled items on that brain dump. And then we're just breaking those projects down piece by piece that you have circled. And then you're going to go to that list and you're going to the ones that you've circled, and then you're going to estimate how long do those items take. So for the brief example, you're going to say it's going to take me 10 minutes to talk to my client. It's going to take me 15 minutes to get a hold of opposing counsel and have a conversation with them. I'm going to need 2 hours to outline and draft my brief. I'm going to need an hour to edit it. I'm going to need an hour to do some research. You're going to break that down and you're going to estimate the time needed to do the project. Lean towards overestimating the time that you will need, especially if this is the first time you've done this and you're not really familiar with how long things take. Just lean towards them taking longer than you might think. You can always get other work done if you have extra time, right? And the great thing about what I just described to you is you can actually predict your work schedule in advance. Yes, things will happen. Things are going to happen during the week. They happen in life, right? But if you have this all written down, you have something very specific to refer to. Now, if you tend to feel overwhelmed, which I completely understand, I used to feel overwhelmed all the time, this specificity mindset is also going to help you focus. Okay, and one way you can focus is take that big brain dump, which was step 1, and then take the items that you circled, the projects, the tasks that you need to do today and maybe the rest of the week, and then put that on a separate piece of paper. Okay, chances are this is your very first time doing that, and that's okay. Just take it for today. Put that on a list for today so that every single time you notice yourself reaching for a phone or wanting to check your email or wanting to respond to an email right away, you're like, wait a minute, is that email truly as important as what's on today's list? Maybe it is, but ask yourself that question. Give yourself that opportunity to pause and ask yourself that question. Keep redirecting your brain to the list that you made. Okay, so let's do a recap here. To get into the specificity mindset, which is one of the 3 steps of the 3-step method I'm teaching in the masterclass this Thursday, you're going to want to get specific. Makes sense, right? Specificity mindset. So what that means is getting specific about what needs to get done. So you write down everything that needs to get done this week. It might take you 10 minutes to 20 minutes. Everything that's on your mind, just dump it all out. And then for Monday, today, you're just going to go to that list and you're going to circle the most valuable players, the ones that are going to move the needle in your practice this week that need to get done this week. And then you're going to take those items that you circled and you're going to break them down even further. You're going to find the projects, the briefs, those kinds of things that need to be broken down into pieces. And then once you've done that, you're going to estimate how long each one of those pieces is going to take, each one of those tasks is going to take. Lean towards overestimating time when you're doing this for the first time. And then you're going to put all of those items that you circled and you put times to, you're going to put it on a separate list for today so you don't have to look at the rest of the big list. Your brain doesn't have to get overwhelmed. You know it's there. You just look at that single list for today. And if you're watching this on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can use this today. All right? Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to join me for this masterclass. What we need is to get lots of repetition on this, because hearing this once is not necessarily going to take root in your brain. Here's why. Because we get into a pattern of doing things. We do things over and over and over again. They become a habit, and then we just revert to that when we're stressed. Anytime we have any tension, anxiety, we revert to our habit. And what we want to do is we want to change your habits. If you at all feel overwhelmed or you find yourself feeling like you're behind, what's required is to change the habit. And that's what we're going to be working on in this masterclass on Thursday. So join me for this masterclass. Why you feel behind, go to dinacataldo.com/take control and join me. Now, I'm a big fan of attending masterclasses live. Here's why. First of all, I'm super fun, and you're going to want to come to my masterclass because I bring the energy. And I like to do something special for the people who show up live. So that's another big reason. The second reason is that we learn best when we show up, when we show our brain that we are invested in the material that we're learning. There's something about it, something about the psychology of it. When you show up live, when your brain is engaging with someone in a live setting, we pay attention more, we absorb more. And so if at all possible, make it live. But I know life happens. And if you can't make it live, I'm going to be sending out a replay for people who register. So if you already know you can't make the Thursday time, that's okay. But register at dinacataldo.com/take control. And after the masterclass on Thursday, I'm going to be sending out a replay. So be sure to do that. All right, my friend, take this into your day. Take this into your week. Practice this throughout the week, and you are going to start noticing that you're going to be reaping dividends. You're going to start changing your brain patterns so that you can get specific easier and easier. Because the first time you do it, it might feel really hard, really uncomfortable. But if you do it over and over and over again, you're going to start noticing it get easier, and you're going to start noticing the benefits that you're receiving, and you're going to want to do it. All right, my friend, I'll talk to you soon. I hope to see you at this masterclass. Bye.